Well, let's take a look at what is happening in the markets, and we start off with the JSE. Trading relatively flat today. We did get quite a few economic indicators out today. We did have the December consumer inflation print inching up higher to 3%. We also did have retail sales coming in for November, climbing 7.7% year on year. The JSE, I think the last time I checked, was up 0.02%, but actually now dipping into red territory slightly, dipping by almost 0.1%. You are seeing most of those losses coming from the financial 15, which shed more than 0.5%. Industrial 25, they're edging lower by 0.1%, but backing that trend is the resources 10 complex with a gain of almost 0.1%. Let's take a look at what is happening with the U.S. markets, and on top of markets digesting the political landscape's impact on the U.S.'s economy and also the global economy. Investors have digested corporate earnings. We did have some of those companies, Netflix and Procter & Gamble, coming in with earnings beats. We are seeing a sea of green over there, with the tech-heavy NASDAQ leading those gains, climbing almost 1.5%. We do have the S&P 500 there popping by almost 2/3%, and a gain on the Dow of almost 1/3%. Let's take a look at what is happening with the European markets, and we actually have had the DAX there reaching a record high, propped up by Adidas shares rising. This is after quarterly earnings came out there, where we saw earnings beats, strong growth there in that quarter. Of course, looking at the DAX, they're up by almost 1%. The CAC 40 with a gain of more than 0.7%, and the FTSE 100 dipping slightly by 0.1%. Let's take a look at what is happening on the currency scene, and we start off with how the rand is doing against some of the major currencies. Relatively flat, still good news for us, because the rand hasn't been on this level sustainably for a long time. 18 rand 51 against the US dollar, against the pound at 22 rand 83, and against the euro at 19 rand 29. Let's take a look at how the other currency pairs are doing, starting off with the euro dollar at 1.04, pound dollar at 1.23, and the yen just above 156 against the US dollar.